Ranked play in Modern Warfare 2, and any other game for that matter, is a mode that's designed to pinpoint your skill level and help you see improvements in your game by continuously ranking up into newer skill divisions. However, each division brings more difficult opponents, more tasks for you as an individual per match, and a much larger offering of skills, communications, and awareness that is required. In today's video, I'll be telling you guys my opinion on what is the most important tip to master for every rank in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer. And if you're here for Warzone 2 rank tips, stick around because these tips will mostly apply there as well. I'll be telling you guys what helped me the most to reach Iridescent and why I think it's important. My name is Redix. We're closing in on 18,000 subscribers, which is a crazy number considering we had about 1,000 at the end of March. If you're new here and you want to join the fastest growing community on Call of Duty YouTube, consider subscribing. I mostly make tips videos akin to this one, but I will be branching out into long form content as well here soon, and I post gameplays as well. Also, second channel is in the description. If you'd like to see if I'm any good at the game, I post gameplays there as well. Thank you to everyone on the screen for joining the channel and supporting. Now let's dive in. Starting with bronze, the tip for anyone stuck in bronze is simple. Work on your fundamentals. Start with your aim because anyone who can shoot straight will easily make it out of bronze, regardless of bad teammates or not. I actually have multiple guides to working on improving your aim, and they can be found at the top right of your screen right now. I've shown how you can learn how to abuse aim assist, the proper controller settings, as well as multiple tips to practicing your aim, including but not limited to shooting a few hundred bots with aim assist turned off. Take a look at these videos and then come back for the next tips. So now we're in silver, and silver is where you're going to want to find your comfortability on the maps, and you're going to want to learn what works best for you. There's not any one specific strategy that everybody utilizes. Everybody has a different play style, everybody has a different skill level. Learn what routes that you like to take off each spawn, whether it's search and destroy, control, or hardpoint. Each map will require a different play style from you, and it's important that you find your flow. Don't become a statue on the map that just sits still and pre-aims the whole game. But you also don't want to go flying around the enemy's spawn unless you're that much better than them. But if you are, you wouldn't be needing this tip. Also in silver, make sure you begin to learn some of the callouts if you haven't already, and begin giving your team some comms. Now in silver, they don't have to be perfect. If someone is at the couches on hotel, you can call that out as there's an enemy mid, but once you get beyond the silver rank, you're going to want to learn these comms and have them a little bit more clear and concise. It'll help your teammates play better and win more often, but it'll also help you get more kills and become better as you will have more info to utilize against the opponent. These will be the main two things to key in on silver as you try to smooth out your game into a more competitive player. Now that we're in gold, once you get here, the lobbies are going to be slightly harder, but they'll still be easy enough in most cases to experiment on. You can still work on finding your favorite lines of sight, camp spots, head glitches, and rush routes. So my tip for gold players is to begin learning things that the professional players find most important. Things like rotating on hardpoint. In gold, you should have memorized by now all of the hardpoint rotations, but if not, get to it. By the time you reach platinum, your opponents will know the rotations and they'll begin hitting them early. And if you don't know them, you'll be in big trouble. If you're confused, every time you play hardpoint on any map, the hardpoints will always be in the same spots. For example, on Mercado, P1 is the mid street, but then P2 is always going to be bottom green or cantina, whatever you want to call it. So if your enemy is spawning by P2, it's important that you and your teammates rotate to try to kill them and get the spawns for P2 before that hill starts. You usually want to rotate somewhere between 15 and 30 seconds left on the current hill, depending on which hardpoint it is. Working on learning spawns, grenade spots, and things like that as well are a big help. I recommend throwing on someone like Shotzi or Dashy's stream. Draza is a good one as well to take a look at what the pros do that gives them a slight edge in every situation, and start trying to use those in your own gameplay. Okay, now you're going to notice a decent uptick in difficulty, playing against mostly gold and diamond players, with maybe even some crimson players in your lobbies. You'll be seeing more teams of 4 than you did before too, and their teamwork will start to become more noticeable. If you ever want to get out of platinum, you're going to need to learn how to read spawns and predict them. So this one sounds simple, and for some people it is. Basically, any good player usually will glance at their minimap every few seconds for intel. A lot of casual players think this is no longer helpful without red dots showing up when enemies shoot. This is still incredibly useful to see your teammates' positions. Sometimes Modern Warfare 2 spawns seem random, but a lot of times you can predict them and read them very easily. In Control, for example, the opponent will usually spawn in the same 2 locations, on the opposite side of the map from where your spawn is. So if you learn these spots, then you can manipulate them, meaning that if the enemy has captured Zone B, and now they need Zone A, you should all stay near the enemy's Zone A spawn. Now, when you kill an enemy, they're gonna spawn by Zone B, making it a much longer trek for them to return to the fight, giving you a chance to reposition and make another big play. In hardpoint, keep an eye on your teammates. If they get overly aggressive and push too far after kills, turn around and watch mid-map. I call this playing cutoff, but basically the enemy won't expect you to read the spawn flip, meaning they'll be running through the map with their gun up, leading to easy kills for you, easy points for your teammates on the hard point. This is why if you have a teammate with 35 kills, but only 5 seconds on the hard point, you shouldn't always bash them because sometimes they're doing the dirty work of getting the good spawns and cutting off the enemy mid-map. I am working on a full, detailed guide about manipulating spawns on each map and mode. If anybody's interested in that, I recommend turning on notifications since YouTube subscriptions are kind of shaky. Oh yeah, you noticed it now, didn't you? Once you hit Diamond, the lobbies start to get a little bit crazy. Your first game in Diamond probably felt a little bit intimidating, and it led you to this video for some advice on how to get out of there fast. I got you. My most important recommendation for Diamond is to begin using tactics people would call nerdy. You absolutely need to learn the movement, how to use dives quickly and efficiently, how to snake, how to use Peeker's advantage. And surprise, the link in the top right currently leads to my videos teaching you all of those things. These will all be instrumental to your progression, and I guarantee that if you learn these and you use them, you'll get to Crimson much faster than expected. And you better learn them now, because if you do get to Crimson without them, you'll drop right back down to Diamond once you start playing against Iridescent and top 250 players. Some other important mechanics to learn are off angles, meaning lay down in a random spot around the map that no one would ever think to look and get yourself some free kills. Start utilizing teammates with double chows and bait and switches. So if you're in a spawn trap or you're trying to break a hard point, send in a teammate, and after they get shot a few times, let them run away and then you take their spot. The opponent will likely be hurt and you'll catch them off guard with your full HP for a free kill. This is where things really ramp up, so be prepared to get a lot better during the Diamond grind if you want to get out of it. This is usually where players hit their skill ceiling and get hard stuck. Don't let that be you. Learn the cheesy mechanics that everyone else is using. Now, full transparency, I hated my Crimson and Iridescent games as a solo player especially. Every other game was either a blatant hacker, or my teammates always seemed to be clueless, and the enemy team was oftentimes Iridescents and top 250 full squads, and I had Diamond teammates sometimes. Not fun, but I made it into Iridescent solo. I got through the rigorous Crimson tests, and I have 2 tips for this one. The first is to relax. It's gonna get super annoying, frustrating, and at times boring trying this grind. You'll win 3 in a row and think you're hitting Iridescent soon, only to lose 4 or 5 in a row to hackers and full stack squads. Try not to let it bother you. You'll end up playing bad and you'll end up wasting your own time on something that you're not enjoying. The grind will still be available tomorrow, so just take a break if it's a bad day. Now, tip number 2, and the main tip here, is work on becoming the most annoying individual player imaginable. I get called annoying basically every game.
Wow, Redix, you're so fucking annoying, dude.
Because I'm the guy who gets into the enemy's spawn on control, I'll get a kill, and I'll run to a different corner, I'll get another kill, I'll switch to another corner, and I'll get another, and so on. You get the point. If you can do this effectively, the enemy team will be stuck worrying about where you are instead of where your teammates are and locking down any points. This could work on hardpoint as well. Just don't push out too far and lose those spawns. Use every head glitch in the game. Don't sit in the obvious spots. Go out of your way to find a spot that an enemy wouldn't expect. Make sure you're running dead silence as well to be quiet in their spawn. But it isn't only about you being annoying by ratting it up in corners. You also need to learn nade spots. Throw the hell out of your stuns and grenades. If you're in a gunfight that you probably won't win, run away. Most people don't do that, so the enemy will keep waiting for you in a spot that you're not even at anymore. This will make that enemy useless if they're watching an empty lane, leaving you and your teammates a 3v4 around the map as long as you can communicate that with them. One of my favorite super annoying things is in search and destroy. On offense, get you and some teammates to make a lot of noise at one site. For example, throw your nades towards the A bomb. Push up, maybe get a kill or 2, and then have your entire team wrap to the opposite bomb site. Especially when you have numbers, the enemy team never expects a wrap, and sometimes they'll even be trying to flank you, and then you'll run into them and they'll have their gun up, never expecting you and your teammates running back across the map. There are so many more ways to be super annoying, but the main goal here is to always have the opponent worried about you and what you're doing. The less predictable you are, the better. This makes your teammates' lives much easier as well, which really helps when you're on a bad team. And this is the main way I was was able to get Iridescent solo. I was so annoying that I made it to where my teammates had a much easier time capturing points. Well, this is exciting. You did it. You're in the top rank, Iridescent. Now, obviously you can go for top 250, but it's basically all hackers, streamers, and professional players. So good luck unless you have a 4 stack of those and you have 10 to 12 hours per day to spend on the grind. Now, when I hit Iridescent, I basically stopped playing because the lobbies became insufferable for a solo player like myself. But if you are an Iridescent and you still want a tip, my tip is put your ego away. This is why I don't think many Iridescent players would even watch this video, because they'd see the title and think that they're too good to improve or too good for criticism. I get it. When you get into Iridescent, you've proven that you're in that top 0.01% of players, and no one can tell you otherwise unless they're an Iridescent too. But this leads to multiple issues. You stop improving for one, and you maybe even regress while other players continue to improve, but you also get bored very quickly. You'll lose more often because you'll be ego-challenging things left and right, and you'll probably blame your teammates for the L. But they're playing as a team, working on rotating and breaking hills or capturing points, while you roam the map with no purpose because you're Iridescent, so you're the best. Work on fixing that and fixing the small flaws in your game that everyone has, no matter the rank. You'll be surprised at just how good you can get. Anytime you catch yourself in a bad situation, just think about what you did that led to that spot. Try to fix that and make sure it doesn't happen again, or at least less often. Even if you just get a little bit better, you're still improving. That being said, I don't have any tips for the top 250 people because Jesus, you guys are demons. If this video helps you out, all I ask is that you guys drop a like, comment down below letting me know what rank you achieved last season and what rank you think you're going to achieve by the end of this season. And also let me know what your goal is for next season. If you guys want to shout out in the next video, the best way to support the channel is to go below the video here and click the share button and then click copy link. You don't actually have to send the link to anyone, but I'm sure you know someone who could use this advice. Definitely send it to them if so, but otherwise just comment down below the word shared if you did that, and I'll put you on the screen as a shout out in the next video. Sharing supports the channel so much, as well as liking and commenting, so if you guys do all of those things, I'll be incredibly thankful. Click the playlist that pops up here at the end of the video if you want more tips from me, or you can click on my second channel and take a look at some of my Warzone gameplay and things like that if that's something that interests you as well. But thank you guys for watching. I've been Redix, and I'll see you guys soon.